Hello, everyone, and welcome into a midweek edition of the SunDevilSource series recap. I'm Blake Neiman here with Jake Seymour and Noah Furtado following Arizona State's dominant series sweep over UC San Diego. The Sun Devils now improving to 24-22 overall as they put up 34 combined runs over a two-game stretch. And guys, this is the offense that this team has been talking about before the beginning of the season, and it finally has come back around after a little bit of a lull. But this team, when it's firing off on all cylinders, the offense, it's one of the best.
Balls right now especially are carrying at Phoenix Muni the way that we saw it the first 2-3 weeks, and I think that's been just a massive confidence boost. You can feel the morale, how lifted it is in that clubhouse just from some post-game pressers today. We had Ethan Mendoza and Kian Vu join us, and there was a slight delay. I had to get up the little backdrop, SDA backdrop, but as we were going through that, they were just so loose and comfortable in terms of like where they're at right now and just how free-flowing everything is. Willie Bloomquist said afterward that he just hopes that they continue to play that way, to not think too much. That's one of the things that seemed to be, from a mental standpoint, the key in this recent surge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. They're playing loose, and that's what they kind of talked about during the slump, is that they can't really change anything. It's more so just keep on doing what they're doing, but play loose, have fun, and just kind of go out there and play baseball, pretty much. Like a bunch of, kids just having fun on the diamond with their, best buddies playing baseball. So I think with this team, what you're seeing right now is exactly that. And it's a team that, and they've talked about this in the preseason, is that they feel they're really close to one another. And a lot of times with teams, too, there's always going to be a lull and some adversity that comes up during the season. And if you can get out of that, which it seems like ASU is, perhaps done with its offense, if they can get out of that and continue that momentum heading into Pac-12 play, that's how they can get to where they want to go and maybe keep the hot streak going.
And Willie Bloomquist talked about, though, try and keep the win streak going, but taking it one game at a time, focusing on Washington on Friday. But this offense, again, it's been lethal now with 5 of his last 6 games. The Sun Devils now scoring double-digit runs in each of those contests. And amidst this surge of offense has been the spotlight in not only the Pac-12, but in the entire country. And a guy like Kian Vu, a guy who is only a sophomore, but in 7 of his last 11, he's had 7 homers in his last 11 games. His batting numbers are off the charts. The dude is just hitting the snot out of the baseball. And he just says, I don't really know how to put it into words. I just want to keep it going.
That's what really stands out to me, beyond just the breakneck pace that he's on right now at the plate, is the dude is so humble. Before his true freshman season, the very first interaction he had with the media, he said, my batting is one of my weaknesses. I know that. It's something that I need to work on, right? And it took about a year, a buffer, right, as a true freshman, totally to be expected. Even this right now, he's hitting 450. 450 right now, which is second in the country only to Charlie Condon, which is the number one, at the moment, the number one projected pick by many outlets. Wide consensus at this stage. And clearly, he's been able to turn this around, and I think humility has played a huge role in that, understanding what he needs to work on, what he needs to get better at. He said most recently he had to meet with the team psychologist before the season. 30-minute conversation helped put things into perspective for him. He wasn't coming into the season as a starter. He was going to be a reserve. He took complete advantage of his pinch hits, which even Bloomquist acknowledged is such a difficult thing to manage, right, when you're trying to build confidence.
From his own personal experience in the major leagues.
Exactly. And every time, it seemed, Kian Vu stepped up. And where he is right now, you said it, he can't even process it. He just hopes to keep things extremely simple, right? But I don't think that, from a character standpoint, there's a better person that this right now, this success, could have come to. He's prepared for it. He's stayed grounded throughout, and I don't really see that changing.
Complete rise throughout the season, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at him, and Noah said I completely agree with you. his just demeanor, him as his character, he's really a guy that this couldn't have been a better person to happen to. He made the most of his opportunities as a pinch hitter. He continued to show up when he got the starts, to make the most of those opportunities. And then when he finally got into the day-to-day lineup and became what he is now, an everyday guy, he's continued to make the most of it. His stats, by the way, were just started to get registered on the conference and in the NCAA because he had not met the minimum requirements. I believe it's 2.5 plate appearances per game, while playing in 75% of the team games. So he just crossed that threshold after the USC weekend, and now his numbers are starting to get blown up into the NCAA standings as well as the Pac-12s. And I think when you look at it, you talked about him seeing a sports psychologist and that really helping him. He didn't do that because someone told him to do that. The psychologist came to the team and said, "Hey, if you want to talk, I'm here." And Kean just went out and did that on his own, and didn't really talk to anybody about it. And I think that just shows the maturity level that he has to know that this is a decision that can help him improve on something that he wants to be better at, and go out there and take the opportunity and prove on the field that it's working for him.
He's not playing himself up too, right? And when you're second only to the projected number 1 pick, you got some brownie points. You can have some swag, and he does. He just doesn't show it to the point where he needs to play it up because right now his play is talking for him.
Play speaks for itself, and it has for the Sun Devils so far as they sweep the midweek against UC San Diego. Dominant fashion once again. Noah and Jake, always appreciate the insight. We'll catch you this weekend as ASU takes on Washington starting at Friday night at 6:30.